Let's now have a look at your sales module. Your sales module is actually split in three. Sales tells you what you sold, operations tells you when you sold it, and employees tells you who sold it. If we click on sales, the first level of breakdown that we see is area, if you have them, and then location. Here you can see different metrics: sales and budget, transaction size, sales mix, guest count, and transaction duration. And if you switch to trends, you can actually see a few more metrics like the budget itself, the number of transactions, the average spend per guest, the voids, and more. Let's imagine I want to focus on the Manchester location. I will click here. This will take me down to the menu hierarchy. This menu works as follows. One division can include multiple categories. One category can include multiple items. So if, for example, I want to drill into the food division, this will take me down to the category level, when I will see each category, and then if I click on one of them, it will display all the items that belong to that category. And again, for all of these, I can look at different metrics and I can look at the trends. Then we have order type. This tells you the source of your revenue, and that can be eating, takeaway, or it can be an app like Deliveroo, Uber Eats, Just Eat, and any other you have. And then revenue center is the physical location of the till. So imagine, for example, you have one restaurant that has three different tills, one for the main bar, one for the coffee bar, and one for the terrace outside. This will show you the split of the revenue in these revenue centers. If we then go to operations, we see the day of the week. So for the selected period, we can look at the average daily sales. So example, each Monday of this period had an average of this revenue, or the total daily sales. So the sum of all the Mondays in this period gives me this number. Then you have part of day, which can be customized by your customer success manager. And then we have the hourly breakdown. This is really interesting because you can actually compare days of the week. So for example, on Monday versus a Saturday, and you can see how different is their trend. And based on this, you can take decisions about your menu, about your labor, and more. And lastly, we have the employees module. This will give you all the metrics that we have seen so far, but broken down by employee. An important thing to note is that this will only work efficiently if every employee logs onto the tills with their own logins. So for example, you can see the sales by employee, the number of transactions, the average spend per guest, and the average transaction value. And then you can see also things like sales per labor hour if you also have a labor module. And then you have these two very interesting cards that show you attachment and sales by employee. And if you put them together, they are very useful for an upsell campaign. So in this example, I'm tracking a beef sandwich in both cards, and you can see the amount of sales in pounds, the quantity of items sold by each person, and the attachment. Attachment is a measure of the popularity of an item. It means how many times an item appears on a transaction. So for example, if I sort by attachment, I can see that for Jim Turner, 26% of his transactions included a beef sandwich. And that was a total of 10 sandwiches, whereas Marshall Rose had 25% of attachment and 31 sandwiches because they had more transactions. And here you can see the total value. So with these two reports together, you can check weekly or monthly on how each campaign is going and how each employee is performing.